Over the last few weeks, I've been sharing a few different insight videos talking about how you can turn $1 and get $7 back into your pocket, or a real quick way to make $1,000 with little to no risk. However, some of it still seems like it's a perfect world scenario, like it's just too good to be true. And I want to make sure that you can understand that this is not the case. And I want to help you see that actually it's actually really possible and anyone can do this. So in this video, what I want to share with you is I want to use my own data over the last year and actually use that in the same scenarios, in the same simulations, and help you understand how you can turn $1 into some pretty good money. And really the intent here is really just to help anyone to turn a couple of dollars into some great returns. Oh yeah, and in case you're new here, we're going to go through a quick refresher so you can understand what I'm talking about, so you don't have to go back and watch those other videos. You've got $1 to spend, let's go make some money. Alright, so here is a perfect world example, and what I mean by this is it's just, I'm going to use some numbers, just fluff it as we go, just so you can get an understanding of how this scenario or simulation works. So let's say you've got $1 to spend and you're going to go into a shop and you're going to buy a DVD for $1. I'll just say that's the quickest thing. You can pick these up from a thrift shop or maybe off Facebook Marketplace for free. Hey, you might even have one of these free at home. But we're going to go into an op shop, a thrift shop, and pick up a DVD for $1, and that's how much we're going to spend. So we've paid $1 for this item. Now, let's just say you can sell this DVD for $20. Let's just assume that that's how much we're going to sell it for. So we're going to say $20, as you can see here. Now, in terms of when you sell on eBay, there is usually some fees that come into play. So we're going to assume that 15% fees. We've also added a 30-cent cost per item, maybe some packaging and things like that. And then postage per item works out to be $2.20 if you're sending a DVD untracked via Australia Post in a untracked envelope. That's how I do it myself. Now, if you do that, postage is going to be $2.20, so it works out that all costs are $6.50. It's going to take about 30 days for this to sell, just to take into account, that factor. But let's say after you've done this, you make $13.50. Seems pretty good. $1 into $20, and then you're going to get $13.50 back into your pocket. So let's assume $13.50 for round one. Right, so you're going to go do this again, and this time you're going to get 13 items. You go through the same process again, as you can see here on screen, and you're going to end up with $175.50 back into your pocket. This is profit, right? So you're now going to go do 175. You see where I'm going with this. Now, quite quickly, this is compounding very quickly. So after doing it 175 times, total revenue, if they all sell, of course, once again, you've got to take into the time factor, and that's why it's a perfect world example. We're going to now come out with $2,362.50, and we're going to do it again. 2,362 DVDs. Obviously, you've got to find them. You have to source them. Once again, it's all a perfect world situation, but you can see that you can earn some pretty good money doing this. So that's what a perfect world example looks like. All right, so now that you've seen that simulation and you've gotten some perspective of how easy it possibly is to make some money, well, let's now use it with my real data. So since January 1st, 2022, at the time of this video, at the time of me filming this, I've done over $45,000 in revenue. And that's on eBay. You can see it here. This is a screenshot so you can see for evidence. And it works out to be about 1,402 sales. Now within that, there is top 5 categories that I've been selling. And that comes down to books, DVDs, video games, toys, more so action figures, and Lego. And you can also see here on screen what the average sale price each of these items have been in terms of, for books, it's been $33. And you can also see has been the average cycle time for these items to sell, meaning how quickly they actually sell. That's just to help give you some perspective. All right, we're going to use this data and I'm going to show you once again the possibilities that you can do. Okay, now we're going to do it with a real life scenario, with my real data that I've taken from January 2022. So for the last year, as I explained, I've done $45,000 in revenue, and these are the top categories that I've been selling in: books, DVDs, video games, toys, and Lego. Now I'm going to take you through, I've already got the purchase price of these. That's the average cost that I pay per item. This is once again based on the data that I've gathered since January 2022. And we're going to start with books. So usually for books, they do come out, I usually try and get them less than $4.76, but this is what the average has been. And this might be a bundle of books as well. It might be a couple of books. So, this is per lot that I've sold. But I'm happy to pay $4 for a book if I know I can get an average sale price of $33. As you can see here, I've got all the sale price averages for these items as well. Books being $33, DVDs, video games, toys, and Lego, and I've already explained that to you. All right, so books, we're going to buy a book for $4.76. Sale price for this is around $33. That's the average sale price that I usually get. Fees, 15%, so $4.95. So I've included a 30-cent overhead here just in case for bubble wrap or extra costs. And look, there's always going to be more or less costs within these. As you can see, I've added a postage per item of $9.30. On average, that's how much a small book would cost to send. It actually cost me a little less because I'm on an Australia Post Band 4. It actually cost me about $7.53. In this case, I've kept it at $9.30. So as you can see, total costs come to $19.31, which isn't too bad. We've got to factor in an average time to sell, which is usually around just less than 80 days. So it's not a quick turnaround, but you get $13.69 back into your pocket. Now, when you compare that to the perfect world scenario, you're thinking, jeepers, you spend a lot more only to get $13 back versus the DVD scenario that we did before. Well, let's actually use real data for the DVD. For my average, DVDs cost about $1.61. I try and go for sealed DVDs, but that's not always the case. And this includes Blu-rays, TV shows, all that jazz. Sale price on average for me has been around $17.72. You've got the fees, I've added the 30-cent overhead, and postage per item, I've actually added $3.30 because on some cases there is actually, if it's 2 discs, they are a bit heavier, so it will cost a little bit more. So in this case, I've got $3.30, so total costs come to $7.87. After 68 days of the sell-through, well, we come out with $9.85 back into our pocket. Now, not all DVDs will be this way. This is, once again, based off that data since the start of 2022. In terms of video games, I usually purchase them for around $4. Average sale price for these are around $41. If they were less than $30, I would probably actually send them untracked. But in this case, I've kept this postage for $9.30. And that's sending it tracked in a box, usually because people purchasing video games, they do like them secure. But if it was something cheaper, if it was a cheaper video game, I would actually send it in an untracked bubble mailer using a stamp for $2.20 or $3.30. So in this case, you can see total costs come to $19.85. Usually these sell within 53 days and come out with around $21.50 back into my pocket, which isn't too bad. Now, toys, I usually like to buy a bundle of toys if possible, but that's not always the case. In this case, it averages out to be about $2.28 per toy that I sell. And the average sale price is around $30, just less than $30. You've got the fees, once again, an overhead price for bubble mail or whatever. I've added a higher postage for this one, $15. The reason why is because sometimes they can be a bit bulky. In this scenario, I've just done it to prove a point. We could drop it down to maybe $10 as well. But I think toys can vary all the way between $9.30 and always up to $15, depending if it's a bundle of toys or whatnot. So even if we make it back up to the $15, you can see total costs come to $22, 62 days on average to move the item. We come out with $7.59 back into our pocket. Now, Lego is another great one which has a high ASP. Usually for me, when I purchase Lego, I buy in, big bulks. I recently did this for 35 kilos, and it works out that the average cost for the Lego is around 61 cents for the items that I'm selling, just once you part it all out. So, and then the average sale price for this is around $71.18. After fees, after an overhead, even if we put postage up to, $12.50, because sometimes they will fit in, they don't take up a lot of space, right? We're still going to be coming out with some pretty good money after $24 worth of expenses or costs, 22 days for these items to tick over, so they do move very, very quick. We come out with $47. Not too bad. Now, if we do the average for all these, average works out to be about $2.66 as my average cost of good across these different categories. And as you can see here, the average sale price for me is around $38.57. It's actually about $36 at the moment. And you can see fees, overhead, postage, $6.90. Even if we push this up a little bit, it's still not too bad. But total costs come to about $15.60 per item. And average moving time is around 57 days. And profit comes out to be $22.92 per item. So this isn't too bad to know that you could go out and spend $2.60 and come out with $22.92 back into your pocket. That's unbelievable, because if you did this 10 times, that's $229. You do this 100 times, that's 2,292 times. If you do it 1,000 times, you get my point. It starts to add up very, very quickly. And of course, these are my top categories. I sell everything. I sell clothes, I sell bric-a-brac, I sell everything in between. Watches, you name it. I've even sold salt and pepper shakers. So there is a lot of opportunity out here, and I hope this clarifies that for you. So there you go. You can now see that there are so many options, so many possibilities for you to make some quick dollars on the side or make it into a full-time gig. Now, of course, you're probably now asking, okay, this is great, Chris. Thank you so much. But what books do I look for? What DVDs do I look for? What video games do I look for? What toys do I look for? What Lego do I look for? And look, that's a very great question. And to answer that, I've actually got a video that I've done previously talking about what to sell on eBay. And that will take you through some steps to really understand how you can find out what would be the best item for you to sell on eBay. We all have different backgrounds, we all have different knowledge and collections of our own, and you should use that at your advantage. So go check out this video and that will tell you exactly how you can find out what to sell on eBay. So good luck and happy reselling. Cheers.